160 degree, you can even see your hands.
That's so weird.
The window. No. To the.
That's wicked, man. So I'm supposed to move to Richmond in a few years. I gotta admit, I'm not really excited about it. My approach is kind of like dating. You do some fun activities, you get to know one another, and then maybe it turns into a really good relationship. That is an ugly building. I don't know if you know this, but a few days ago, a very exciting piece of technology came out called the Apple Vision Pro. Pretty remarkable tech. I don't think that it's necessarily doing anything new. They're just doing it better than anyone at the moment. And I am a super tech nerd, as most of you on this channel know. And so today, I'm going to go to the Apple Store and check out the Apple Vision Pro to see what the hullabaloo is all about. I don't have a demo scheduled. There just weren't any openings, so I'm hoping that I can just walk in and get a demo. I also don't know if I'm going to be able to record it, but I'm just going to pretend like I'm going to be able to record inside the store. So there's a Tesla dealership here, and I doubt but wonder if they have a Cybertruck. I've never seen a Cybertruck in person. I think it'd be really cool to see one. Oh, I wonder if these destination chargers will work with the Del Mar. They've got one Gen 3, which is the white one, and the rest are older ones. Oh, they've got a robot in there? Hey, do you guys have any Cybertrucks here? Can I like see it?
At the end over here.
Oh, sweet.
I know, right? Yeah, we just got it like a few days ago, actually.
And it's like a order? It's pretty dope, man. So it's pretty much a straight shot, one road to get me to where this Apple store is. To be honest, there's literally nothing interesting to look at, and so I'm trying to think, well, how can I make these roads more interesting? These ungodly boring roads. How can I make them more interesting? The other ride modes. Here we go, sport. Oh my god. It is such, man, Livewire did such a great job with these ride profiles. There's a definitive, oh my god. There's a definitive difference in how each mode feels. You could cover up the screen and I could hit the mode button and I'd be able to tell you which mode I'm in. They all just feel very different. Oh my god. Whoa! Oh my god. In sport mode, there's all the safety features of the bike are in there. The front wheel lift like mitigation system. It pretty much controls the amount of torque that the rear wheel gets so that you don't pop a wheelie in sport mode. It also the traction control and corner ABS and all this other stuff that's activated. But when you go into track mode, all that turns off. But in sport mode, you can feel. Just then on that acceleration, I felt the tire want to come up, but the bike slowed the rear wheel down, and like just the feeling of that front tire coming off just made my hands just sent a tingle down my arms because I could feel it coming up. Oh man, it is such a different ride when you're in the different sport mode. It feels like the wheel is touching the road by just the smallest amount of rubber is still on the road. That's how much the tire comes up. Oh my god, it is definitely fun. So putting the Del Mar into its different ride modes, it reminds me of the, I think it was a Top Gear episode where the host, I forget his name, was reviewing a BMW M5, or maybe it was an M3. Pretty much the entire first three quarters of the video, he just trashes the car, just talking about how disruptive the technology was inside of it, how none of the controls made any sense, how everything about the car just got in the way of making a good car, how it didn't have very good response, and the handling was terrible, and the acceleration was terrible, You know, this is a really expensive car. You think that his review is going to be completely dismissive of the car. There's this one part of it that just still, like, I can still remember. This is probably 15 years ago. And he says, all of this stuff makes this car really bad until you press this button. And it was like the M mode or something like that on the car. Like, up until that point, the car just behaved like a regular standard BMW. But once you hit this button, it like unlocks the M mode of the engine and the acceleration and the handling, the torque, all this other stuff. And so it just, he just loved the car, but it was only until he hit this one button. And to me, that's kind of like what the Del Mar is like, where it's a really good electric motorcycle, and it's got shortcomings. The range isn't what everyone hoped it would be, and it doesn't have level 3 fast charging. I mean, as soon as you put this bike in sport motor track mode, it just becomes, as my friend Amy called it, a giggle machine. I mean, it's incredible. I need to check my phone. I don't think that Apple is at this mall.
Holy crap. Dude, you're not kidding.
What's that?
Just the clarity. It's impressive. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Okay.
It's impressive, and what's great is the pass through is spatial, whereas with the Metacross Pro, you're looking at a screen.
Okay.
I mean, this I know that I'm looking through a screen, but there's depth to it.
Depth to it, right?
Which is no other headset is doing that.
Good. So directly on the objects below you.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
That's one of my favorites. It really puts depth to it, right?
That's really cool.
All right. So I want to take you to your first environment, 160 degree. You can even see your hands.
That's so weird.
The window. In the center.
That's wicked, man.
That's awesome, right? The other device.
That's so cool, man.
And when you move, it should rotate that.
I can't get it from my arms, man. It's so
So if
weird.
you look at the bottom, see where the bar is?
Thank you. Sure. Oh my god. Whoa. That was impressive. Now, you'll have to forgive me for not making this a very traditional video. And I didn't really spend a whole lot of time recording today just because I wanted to think behind the visor and behind the bars as I was riding. When I first saw that the Apple Vision was coming out, and I watched all the YouTube videos about it, and people are in their offices or they're in their studios, or some people walking around in New York City using Apple Vision Pro. It's really cool technology, being that it's spatial computing. And I thought to myself, okay, how would that be applied to riding a motorcycle? It wasn't until after I used it today where I really started to think about, okay, how can this really help motorcycles or motorcycle riders? How can the technology help? Once the novelty of something cool or something highly technical wears off, it really isn't useful anymore. And so I really was thinking, okay, if I could just snap my fingers and make hardware, make software, do a certain thing, what would that look like? Because Apple's vision, no pun intended, Apple's vision for Apple Vision is not for there to be a headset. It is for that technology, it's for that interaction, for that spatial computing to be in something like this, like glasses, where you just put it on and that's it. You can still see the real world. It's not being digitally reprojected on screens. So it's augmented reality. That's what I think the future of Apple Vision is. That vision may not even come true for another decade or more just because of hardware technology. But anyways, back to motorcycles. I've been messing around with LiveWire's app on my phone. It works, but it's very frustrating at times. Actually, I would say most of the time it's frustrating. The times when it works, it's really awesome. I've got navigation on my screen on the handlebars. I can answer phone calls. I can listen to music. I can, see some information about the motorcycle, not a whole lot. But other than that, it's pretty bare bones. And I think that applications on smart devices, I think that they should enhance your life, that they shouldn't be a hindrance. They shouldn't be an annoyance. it should be, man, I really wish I was using my app right now, or I really wish I was able to see this right now. That's what I think apps should do for our lives. How do I see something like Apple Vision Pro being applicable to motorcycles? The first way is safety. You know, you're the most vulnerable when you're riding a motorcycle. There's no protection at all. I think it's really easy to think of like, you know, having sensors everywhere on the bike and having everything built into the bike to where if there's someone coming up behind you, the bike tells you. I don't think that technology should be on the bike. I think technology should be on the rider. One, because if you have multiple motorcycles, the safety, the technology, it goes from bike to bike. It doesn't matter if you have a bike that's 50 years old or 50 minutes old. You can still use the same tech. How useful would it be if you're riding down the road and instead of having to look down at your rearview mirror to see what's coming behind you, what if you had two displays that would only kick on if you looked in a certain area? Because again, you know, Apple Vision Pro tracks your eyes. And so instead of having a very small rearview mirror, you have like an almost lifelike or proportional size screen to the left and right of you so that you can see if there are vehicles coming behind you. The other thing that I thought of was with navigation. Instead of having to look down at a GPS or look down at your phone to see where your turn's coming up, what if there was just a ribbon of color or light above the road and you just follow that? You know, it didn't get in the way, you know, it wasn't on the road. You could still see the road, but it was just above it. And so as you look forward, you can see where that ribbon would turn down the road that you're supposed to go to. Or, you know, instead of there being this ribbon above the road, kind of like a video game, at the intersection, it says, there'll be text that says, turn left here, you know, or get on this ramp. You know, some people like to go to vacant parking lots and they like to practice turns or weaving in and out of things. Some people like to set up road cones. What if you had a training program, an app that was using these glasses, Apple Vision glasses, what we'll call this concept, and there are little cones all out in this parking lot that it's set up so that you could practice certain turns. The glasses could use the telemetry of sensors and stuff like that to know, you know, hey, you're leaning the bike too much, or you need to turn more. You have a virtual coach that can make you a better rider through like training apps or stuff like that. You know, all of the information that's already there, that's already been captured, like how fast you're going and what the speed limit is. Instead of that being down away from where you're looking, it just needs to be forward. Maybe it's, you know, up above at the very, very rim of the visor, to where it's not going to obscure anything, but you can still see this data, this information that's useful for riders. When it comes to apps, when it comes to technology, when it comes to certain pieces of equipment, a wow and a cool factor, that's only temporary. That stuff always subsides. It's like when you get a brand new flat screen television. When you first get it, you're like, man, this is just incredible. It's so much better than what I had before. But eventually the novelty just wears off. It becomes normal. And so I would hope that as this technology is improved and grown and utilized, that developers, manufacturers, that they try to look past, let's just make something that's cool and let's just make something that's actually useful. Let's make things, come up with solutions that enhance people's lives, not just supplement or annoy. Or, you know, there's a dinosaur demo at the very, very end of Apple Vision Pro. The entire purpose of that thing is to sell you Apple Vision Pro. It's the whole reason why it's there. It's the last thing that you see. It's the coolest thing that you see. It's to get you excited about this thing, so much so you're so wowed that now you just want to buy it. That's why it's there. I guarantee you that anyone that buys Apple Vision Pro, which I'm considering buying it, the first time you see the dinosaur demo is the only time that you're going to see the dinosaur demo. You're never going to watch that ever again. I think it's cool. I'm really excited to see where this kind of technology, spatial computing really goes to, and I would be really interested to see who's going to be first at trying to take a stab at making some combination of augmented reality, virtual reality on motorcycles. It's Black Hawk.